All right, Jabal, say good morning. Let us continue. We are in Perek Yotes in Mesillas Yesharim. So the Ramchal writes as follows. I'm Rabbi Ibo. So remember again, we're in the section of Simcha. So remember again, the Ramchal is explaining that the concept of love has essentially three different branches. Dveikos, which we spoke about, and Simcha, which was number one, Simcha, which we began yesterday. So here the Ramchal just introduced us to this idea that when serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's not just about what you do, but it's how you do it. And in particular, serving the Ribbon Shalom with an incredible sense of Simcha, a sense of joy, over the privilege of the ability to engage with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Ramchal continues, he says, Amru b'medrash, Rabbi Ibo, Kishetiyeh omed lehispalo. When a person stands up, such a beautiful piece. When a person stands up to daven, Yeh libcha sameach alecha. Your heart should be filled with joy. Shata mispala le'elokim she'en kiyotze bo. That you have the opportunity to daven to a God for whom there is no one like Him. Kizosi sim. So again, what is the medrash? What is Rabbi Ibo coming to say? It's not just about davening. It's not even just about kavanah, and it's not even just about understanding what it is that you're saying and attentiveness. Rather, Rabbi Ibo is saying is when a person davens, a person should be filled with a sense of simcha. Where does the simcha come from? That I have the opportunity to dialogue with Hashem. And that's a unique opportunity. Kizosia simcha ha'amitis, because this is the true simcha. Shia libo shel adam ales. The real simcha is the opportunity to go ahead and relate and connect to Hashem. So he's giving the example of in tefillah, but it's not just tefillah, it's in anything. It's in anything. V'lasok b'saraso, to engage in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah, mitzvosav and his mitzvos, shema shlemos ha'amiti v'hayekar ha'nitzchi. Which again, the ability to engage in Torah mitzvos, which represents the complete and true and precious eternal sense of completion. So this is really just a beautiful idea of sometimes, we're focused on performance of the mitzvos, learning of Torah, fulfilling our obligations, and fulfilling them in the correct way. The Ramchal says there's another piece as well, which is a sense of joy. Now, where does the joy come from, right? Where does the simcha in Yiddishkeit come from? The simcha comes from the opportunity to serve. The fact that I have the opportunity, that I have the privilege to serve Hashem, that in and of itself engenders a sense of simcha. Va'amr Shlomo b'mashal ha'chachma, Shlomo Melech writes, Mashchini acharecha narutza, Hashem, pull me after you, and I will run towards you. Hevi ani hamelech chadarav, the king brings me to his room. Nagila v'nismecha bach, I will rejoice and be happy in you. So again, even Shlomo Melech says, once I recognize that the king pulls me into his room, once I recognize that I have the opportunity to serve, there's a sense of simcha. There's a sense of joy that comes with that. Because the more a person has the ability to enter in to a greater understanding of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yoser tigdal bo hasimcha v'elibo sas b'kirbo. So the truth is, it's not as much an understanding, it's the more a person has the opportunity to come close to Hashem, the more there is a sense of simcha and a sense of rejoicing. Va'omer yismach Yisrael ba'osav b'nei Tzion gim malkam v'David shekrar higia al ha'ma'ala hazos shir gadol omer ye'erav alav sichi anochi yismach ba'Hashem. Such a very beautiful pasuk that literally Hashem ye'erav alav sichi, my conversations with you should become pleasant. Anochi esmach b'Hashem, I will rejoice in Hashem. Va'omer va'avoa al mizbach Elokim el kel simchas gili va'otcha b'kinor Elokim Elokai va'amar tiranina sifasai ki azam rolach v'nafshi asher padisi. So we'll say, so all psukim speaking about simcha. The point, let's just keep in mind, the point that Ramchal is trying to highlight is, again, I will say, the notion of having simcha in Yiddishkeit is not a new concept, right? We've all heard this before, learned this before. What Ramchal is trying to highlight over here is, where does the simcha come from? Right? What is the source of the simcha? To which Ramchal answers, the simcha itself comes from an awareness that I have the privilege to connect. That's where the simcha comes from. So whether it's in my tefillah, whether it's in my Torah, whether it's in my mitzvos, I am given the privilege to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in a meaningful way. The fact that I have that privilege, that engenders the sense of simcha. V'hainu, ki kol kach chesem iskaberes b'kir bo hasimcha. The simcha, the joy was so profound in David HaMelech's heart. Shekvar hasvasayim hayu misnanos me'eleim. Actually beautiful. Umerananos biyosa osek b'tilosa v'yisparach. So David HaMelech, he was. There was such simcha embedded within him that literally, again, his lips would begin to move on their own when he would begin to praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'chol zeh migol dal ha'islat us nafsho sha'isa mislahetes b'simcha lefanav hu mashesiyem v'nafshi asher padisa. Fine. Umatzinu. So we'll say, so this is the, again, Ramchal proving this from a variety of psukim, but our takeaway message is, simcha in Yiddishkeit comes from an awareness that I have the opportunity to connect. And I will say, it's actually a very profound idea, because a lot of times we find that I'm serving Hashem, but there's not necessarily a simcha in the service. In other words, I'm committed. It's very nice. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. But lamaisa, there's not necessarily a simcha associated with it. And a lot of times when there's not a simcha, it's because I'm not really thinking about who I'm serving or the fact that I have a direct access through my tefillah, through my Torah, through my mitzvos, to the Melech Malchei HaMlachim, and that he wants my service. That type of recognition, that type of understanding, by definition engenders a sense of simcha, but it requires almost like a pre-Judaic cognitive state to think about what it is that I'm doing. You begin to understand a lot of things about like how it is that, let's say by tefillah, right, the Gemara says, the Hasidim Harishonim were showing Shah Achas Lefnei Tefillah, right? The original Hasidim would meditate for an hour. You're going like, what are you meditating about? But not an hour, by the way. It doesn't have to be a Shah, it doesn't have to be an hour. Shah could be 5 minutes. Well, what are you meditating on? So it's interesting, by the way, part of the meditation is I have an opportunity to speak to God. Right? I just have, or we'll say, by mitzvot, especially by the Hasidim, you see this concept of the hineni muchanu mezumans, right? The l'shem yichud, the preparatory paragraphs before the performance of a mitzvah. What is that doing? What it's doing is it's just orienting me to recognize, to highlight, and to appreciate what I have the ability to do. The idea that I have the ability to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the King of Kings, right? The King of Kings, that's incredible. That's incredible. Whatever I'm going to make of the experience, not make of the experience, the fact that I have the opportunity for the experience is nothing short of magnificent. And the Ramchal posits that recognition that I have the opportunity to connect, that's what creates simcha. Let's go back here. It says, Umatzinu, shenisra'im HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael, mipnei shechasru, Tanai Zev Avodas. And I will say, conversely, here's what's interesting. HaKadosh Baruch Hu holds Klal Yisrael accountable that when we served him, we didn't serve him with simcha. As the pasuk says, Hu shene'emar by the tochacha, tachos asher lo avarat es Hashem elokecha b'simcha u'betuv leivav. So it says really quite profound that what happens, what does Chosh Baruch Hu say, why does the tochacha come? Or one of the reasons why tochacha comes, because you did not serve Hashem with simcha and betuv leivav and gladness of heart. The David, Lefi shera es Yisrael be'is hisnadvam al binyan abayis shekvar higiu lemala azos. And David HaMelech saw that when Klal Yisrael, right, were willing to donate towards the building of the Beis HaMikdash, they came to this level of simcha. Hispalal aleim shetiskaim hamida tova bahem v'lo tasur. David HaMelech davened that this midah of simcha should be locked in for Klal Yisrael. Hu mashenehemar v'ato amcha nimtza po reisi b'simcha v'hisnadev lach Hashem Elokei Avram Yitzchak v'Yisrael avosinu shamra zos li'olam li'yetzer machshavos levav amecha v'hachin levavam elecha. So we'll stop over here for today, but now we also understand it. You know, when the tochacha, because this is like the big shot about tochacha, when Hashem says, the reason you're getting punished is tachas asher lo avaratas Hashem elokecha b'simcha. So you think to yourself, I don't understand, what's so bad? What's so bad? As long as I'm doing my job, right? As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So what does it matter if there is simcha, there is not simcha? But now it begins to make a lot of sense, because the whole notion of simcha, ultimately again is one of appreciation for what it is that I'm engaged in, for the opportunity to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If I'm missing that piece from my Yiddishkeit, the simcha of connection, there is a profound deficiency and a profound void. All right, so we'll stop over here for today. And tomorrow we pick up with the third branch of Kina. And Shkoyach.